Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day today. So today, while I am building this wonderful Wakandan-inspired home, I am going to do a review of Black Panther, because obviously why would I build a Wakandan home if I am not going to talk about the great new Marvel movie, which is Black Panther. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was really refreshing. It was a unique take on what a superhero movie could be, and although it wasn't a perfect movie, it did fall into some superhero tropes like the third act. Full spoilers, by the way. If you haven't seen the film, just put me on mute and or play some music and watch the speed build. So in the last act there was the classic, we're going to fight everyone without having the fight a massive monster things, and that scene was a bit odd because the CGI was randomly different compared to the amazing CGI which was Wakanda itself. So I don't know whether they gave it to different teams or something strange happened there with the CGI, and especially with like the rhinos and stuff. I don't know, it was a cool battle, and some sort of cool things happened in it with like the rhinos and stuff, and how it didn't want to attack. That was quite a poor part of the film, but the rest of it was really good. The intro, like introducing people into Wakanda using the vibranium sand, I think that whole concept of that tech is amazing. I wish they'd gone into how the vibranium affects the metals and their technology and stuff a bit more, because like in the Iron Man films we got how he made the new particle that didn't mean he was poisoned and stuff. So it would have been nice to get some more tech, like how that actually worked. And Shuri was probably one of the best characters. So witty, so strong, and also vulnerable as well. Like you could tell that she was a lot younger than everyone else and still had room for growth. It'd be really interesting to see how, if she ever gets to meet Peter Parker or Tony Stark, and how that sort of tech dynamic could work. That'd be super awesome. And the tribes was super interesting. That whole ritual of how he became king was a really interesting scene, because I love finding out about different cultures. So this movie was just like all the different amazing culture, and all the visuals were amazing, because it was based on afrofuturism, which I had a little dip into while I tried to use some of their styles and stuff, especially for this back garden bit here, kind of creating that interlink between the modern and the technology with the environment. And they sort of have like big green sort of like what I'm trying to do at the back garden. They have those like coming off sides of buildings like skyscrapers and stuff, so it's kind of a mini homage to that. So Wakanda, it looked amazing, and all the tribes and all the colours, and it gave me Lion King vibes throughout some of it, but that was obviously because it is Disney, obviously. But if you've grown up with watching the Lion King as a child, you kind of get like, oh, it looks a bit like the Lion King. But it didn't hinder anything. I was really interested in the herb as well that they grow to have the Black Panther powers. That was a really interesting side, and the whole astral plane that they have, and whether that might be interlinked with other astral planes. Maybe that could be quite interesting. And all the characters were so well written. Like every character had a part. Even Everett Ross, played by Martin Freeman, I thought he wasn't going to have as big a role as he actually ended up having. So that was quite nice to see him sort of integrated. The only thing I thought that Black Panther was probably the least well represented character in the sim, which is a bit odd because it's his movie. I think everyone else, like the Demolage and Shuri and Nagita and all those characters, like outshone him and outperformed him, and it just made like a wonderful like well-rounded sort of story. And they brought a lot of the political things, especially with Eric Killmonger, who's the bad guy, well, one of the bad guys, the main sort of head player. And obviously we had Andy Serkis, who is amazing, and it's lovely to see him not being a CGI character like Gollum or in the Planet of the Apes. So it was really nice. I really wanted to see more of him. I wish they hadn't killed him off because I want to see more of his just pure mad evilness. It was just so raw and amazingly evil. I just wanted to see more of him just running around causing mayhem for other Avengers, or back with Black Panther again. That would have been quite cool. And obviously Bucky at the end, that was super interesting with his little white wolf. That was quite funny with all the kids trying to tease him. It's a good job they actually fixed his brain, or he'd be like going after them, which would not be good, but quite funny. And what else do I have? I have a list of all the stuff because I was watching other people's reviews as well, seeing if people agree with me. Yeah. We were talking about Eric Killmonger, weren't we? Yeah, his like almost terrorist level of wanting to come back to Wakanda and empower people to stand up and fight against oppressors was such a strong, powerful like villain arc. It's a bit more extreme than what the Vultures was, because he was also an amazing villain. I think if they keep writing villains that are actually relatable and have like a meaningful purpose, it's gonna be good in the MCU. That's all I can say. And his whole arc of like wanting to go back to, like wanting to see Wakanda and sort of taking the throne, and that whole epic battle, and we all knew he wasn't dead. Come on, we've seen the Civil War trailers. It played just before the film. We all know he doesn't die in it, but that was an epic battle. And and the political things like building bridges, not walls. Building bridges, not walls, which was, when I sat there in the cinema, I was like, yeah, Donald Trump, stop building your stupid ass wall, you nutter. I just love that part, and like trying to make people want to understand other people and not judge people before they actually know the situation, especially with the whole fact that everyone thought that Wakanda was just a third world country who just did like goat farming, and then it's actually this amazing technological place. Like, never judge anyone before you get to know them, kids and adults and everyone, because you never know if the person you're actually dissing could be a really inspiring or creative human being that could inspire you or be a good influence in your life. But if they're a dick, then just don't bother. That's my life lesson for today, kids. And they brought up colonialism as well, which was very interesting, because they were obviously talking about obviously the slavery, and how Wakanda didn't do anything towards that. They kind of kept themselves from themselves, and sort of that was quite interesting. And also the term like colonizer for the white people, which was, I don't know about it. I suppose it's funny, but I'm not too sure about that word. I quite like the use of like white boy, because obviously there are some people who are very white. There's probably me included in that. And we also got our classic Marvel MCU scene of some black SUVs car chase, which is obviously a classic. This time it was slightly different because we got that amazing sand sort of chair drone-esque sort of thing that Shuri uses. I would love to have one of those. You can imagine just the sand coming up, like, I want to drive a Formula 1 car today, and then I can go off. And then they used it again with Everett to do his little plane mission. That was quite a nice end to that film. It did look a bit sort of floaty and zero gravity-y when they were fighting, when Killmonger and Black Panther were fighting in the vibranium mines. That was quite floaty, but obviously introduced some interesting concepts with the sonic device that they use to travel the vibranium, and everyone loves a monorail, especially if you've seen that Simpsons episode where we're like, monorail. That's such a classic episode. I think that is everything in my review. I am very much looking forward to Infinity War, because that looks like it's going to be a mess in a good way. Like, in terms of Thanos destroying everything and causing havoc with his children. Well, they're not actually his children, but it'd be quite interesting to see how Wakanda is used in that, because obviously it's in the trailer, and Bucky needs to get his vibranium arm, and obviously Cap needs to get his shield back. So it'll be quite fun to see how that goes. I imagine that half of it's going to be in space and half of it's going to be in Wakanda by the looks of it, because Thor's off doing his thing with the Guardians, and then all the others kind of split off into three little teams, so that'd be quite interesting. So I suppose I can talk about the build now. So the inside is supposed to draw influence from African patterns. Obviously this is very limited in The Sims, and I could have done with Jungle Adventures coming out a tad sooner than it did, but using a sort of trying to use modern like patterns, like these cool things from Get Together that kind of made this awesome sort of pattern on the wall, and it looked very like sciencey, organic sort of texture that kind of is what they use as sort of the modern day patterns in Wakanda. And then I used the dance floor as well in the bottom of the pool, because the vibranium's supposed to like not infiltrate, like it's supposed to like connect with the ground. So I can imagine that the bottom of the pool, they kind of dug down and they had like the vibranium sort of is coming like shining through the pool, or they're trying to emulate what the vibranium is doing through the earth. So if you want to change the color to purple like vibranium is, because everyone loves a bit of purple, there's no harm in that. And sort of using the rugs and the paintings from City Living and some of them from Get Together to kind of bring in that African sort of vibe, but then also using the really modern stuff that we got from City Living as well to kind of contrast for that, because obviously they're a highly advanced technological race, so we've got to have all the tech. And I made a little gaming sort of station and a sort of work. I used the gaming rig thing that the Sims can go in themselves, like with that one there. And I made a desk area that sort of had like what you'd have for a gaming setup. So it's got like loads of monitors around, and it's got, I think I put a bookshelf sort of into the second part of the desk, so it's kind of fully geared up for those really tech savvy guys that you could move in here. And I also put a Roomba in, because obviously they won't clean the house themselves, they've got tech to do that. And I made 2 Sims as well, which was so much fun. And I think I made them brother and sister, which is a bit awkward if they're sharing this house, because it's literally just a double bed. But I made one girl, she's got pink dreads, I think, and one of these City Living sort of African-y print dresses that looks really awesome. And then a guy who has some of the shorter hair, and also another outfit from City Living, because obviously they gave us some great sort of different diverse outfits, and it was getting quite hard by the end to actually feel it was like more modern, like super modern stuff, because we haven't actually had that many except for like the fitness stuff pack, which I don't have because it didn't really inspire me that much, and so it was quite hard to like not repeat everything and trying to use objects in different ways to sort of create the effect that I wanted. And sort of the stucco on the outside, I wanted to use a bit inside as well, so kind of bring in the browns and the yellow tones, but also making the outside like super green as well, because obviously that is sort of eco-y, and added that wall divider on the outside of the building because when I was looking up stuff, they had a lot of pattern like inside the bricks themselves, so I kind of wanted to use that, and knew that we had an object like that, and I was like, thank God I found that. I had to pull out all the objects I needed for this in the build by beforehand and put them all outside, because I was just like, I literally won't be able to find anything that I want when it comes to actually building this. And I super love the outside area, especially raising up all those wall hanging plants, because I wanted vines draping down off the edge, like the environment was like one with the building. And I'm super annoyed that they've added in a load of drapey plants for the bloody jungle adventures and more wall stuff, and I was just like, damn it, I could have done with all this when I built this. And then I just moved the building forward as well because I wanted the front to be right on the road, and then everything disappeared, didn't I? Because it's all moved objects. And then I found that really weird like glass sort of sign and thought like that'd be quite cool if I put it into the post box and had it as like that's their street number or name, and so kind of identified like that's their house. And then you can see me putting the vibranium-esque dance floors in the bottom of the pool, and then we're just gonna finish up with the landscaping, just kind of making it a bit more natural and putting it back into some more wild sort of environment. I'd love to see this. I'm going to plop this build in the jungle when I actually get Jungle Adventures, because I think it'll look really cool looking out over into the jungle. That'd be super awesome. And just finishing off with a little bit of terrain plate and adding in a few little bushes, and that bonfire bit there is supposed to represent them like having a few wooden sort of bits so they can create some new stuff in the house. And here are the screenshots. So that is my male sim enjoying some ice skating, because of course the Olympics have been on, and you get to see all a bit more in detail of the different things. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you're all excited for Infinity War and thoroughly enjoyed going to see Black Panther. If you did enjoy, please give a like, and if you would like to see any more builds, I've got a jungle adventure one out tomorrow hopefully, and please feel free to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.